Hi everyone! So it is Tuesday. That means it is time for a Tuesday Talks, which is a Goodreads group created by Mrs. J. Rods Reads and Bookworms Buddy. And this week's topic is unusual names you discovered while reading. Now I was looking forward to this topic because I thought it would be fun and everything, and of course I've read some books where they have some pretty unusual names. So the first one on this list, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's on anyone else's list, would be Harry Potter. Because y'all can't tell me that all of you knew how to properly pronounce Hermione the first time you read that book. Mm-mm. Um, sure is a unique name. I can't remember where it's supposed to be from. And you know, a lot of people talk about books and how they're just given these characters in like normal settings are given unusual names just for the sake of being different. I haven't really come across that just yet, but I'm sure it's there. Well, maybe once or twice, but it wasn't all that big of a deal. The thing about Hermione is that Harry Potter, you know, mainly takes place in the magical world and Hogwarts and everything, but they do kind of go back to the, I guess, mortal or, in Harry Potter world, Muggle world. And Hermione herself came from that normal world. I mean, her parents are. They're not witches or wizards or anything. So she came from the Muggle world with the name Hermione. Um, and you know, I just kind of like how it's not pointed out. I mean, I haven't read the whole series to know, but from like the books that I have read, you know, it just didn't seem like it's that big of a deal. And you also got to remember too that I'm an American, and so were a lot of other Harry Potter readers. You know, it did become very popular here and everything. And that still is a European country. It still has its own cultures and everything. And, you know, so we gotta remember there's things that are normal here, like names and stuff that's, you know, done over there and everything. There may be popular names that we've never heard of that it's very normal to them, everything. But Hermione is a very cool name. It's different. Hard to pronounce, but once you see it, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Then there is the name Hedwig, which I believe actually might be German from what I remember, and that's Harry Potter's owl, obviously. But I've never heard that name before. Uh, Severus, I've never heard, which is Snape's name. I'm trying to think of who else. Um, there's a character Bellatrix, which I've heard of Beatrice. I'm not sure if I've heard of that one before the book. Um, but yeah, there's probably a whole lot that I'm not thinking of for Harry Potter, but number one is definitely Hermione. And then the Hunger Games trilogy. Now, what I liked about this one was it was kind of like a culture thing for like each district and then the capital. Now, the capital had very Latin Roman type names such as Caesar and Octavia and stuff like that, which made sense because of how they lived and what the story's based upon and everything. It seemed like the more wealthier people had those extravagant old names. Whereas the people in the districts, like Katniss, and there's your first name there. I had no idea what that was. Unlike Hermione, though, that is easier to figure out how to pronounce. the thing is, of course, I've never heard that name before. I didn't even know that it existed as anything. Technically, it's a plant. And of course, there's her sister Primrose, which I've heard of a primrose, but I've never heard it used as a name. I've heard rose. And, you know, it's kind of like that. Like, one's a plant, one's a flower, and then you have pita, which is, you know, play off pita bread. And then, of course, there's rue and thresh, which I think I've heard rue, but I've never heard thresh used as the name. And of course, you have your higher districts, which are, you know, people like Cato, which I've never heard that one. Clove, heard of Clover, but yeah, Clove too. Then there's Glimmer and Marvel and stuff like that. Which of course I've heard those words, but you know, you never read them as a name. And again, they belong to certain districts that do certain things. There's also people like Cressida, Plutarch, the president's first name, which I can't remember how to pronounce, but I think she was just very clever in how she did that. Like, certain people who live in certain areas give their children certain names, which that's kind of how it is in real life too. Not all the time, but you'll notice in certain areas and stuff that certain names may be popular in one place versus another. Whose name am I thinking of? Oh, cool. And there's Cinna too. So, like I said, I've heard of a lot of those names, but not all of them. There is a book that I enjoyed that was supposed to be a vampire book, but it's kind of more of a teen, whatever book. But it was enjoyable, and that is Jessica's Guide to Dating on the Dark Side. And in the story, she is adopted from Romania years ago, and her actual Romanian name is Atanasia, which I thought was really pretty. I'm trying to think of what other names. Coraline. Of course, we've heard Caroline, but I've never quite heard Coraline before. And I don't know, it's kind of cool that way. I don't know if that's a made-up name, if he made that up, or if Coraline's an actual name. But I kind of like it. It's different. It's simple as switching two letters around, really, but I still find it interesting. And I guess that is it for now. And I know once I end this video, I will totally find another one to put on this list. But oh well. I would definitely say, though, there's 3 books or 2 books in a series and whatnot, or 2 series. Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, that is my Tuesday Talks video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. And what did I tell you? I'm looking at my bookshelf, and there it is, Cinder. Of course we've heard Cinderella, but this one is Cinder. And then she has a little robot named, I don't know if it's Aiko or Eiko, but I want to say it's probably pronounced Eiko. And then she has a sister. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Peony, maybe? But I would really like to know how to pronounce that because I liked her as a character and everything. So, yeah, I told you guys I would probably turn around and find a couple more names. And I had those on this list. And then I totally forgot about them. So yeah, hopefully this is the end of the video now. Alright.